Can you do this noise?
Oh, Hank, that was cool.
sick.
Can you do that again? Dude, you're back.
Start doing that in the mic.
That was awesome.
Do that one more time.
4-3.
On today's Pardon My Take, we recap the NBA play-in games. We have Hot Seat, Cool Throne, some FAQs for you, and Craig Robinson, you might know him as Darryl from The Office, stops by. First guest we've ever had on to do an impromptu song. That happened.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
A little jam sesh.
Yeah, tune in for that. We're recording this portion before the game, so Nets won by 10 and KD had 55.
And Ben Simmons had a triple-double.
Mm-hmm.
Turnovers, bricks, air balls.
Cavs Clippers money line.
Cavs Clippers money line. There you
Hungry
go
dogs.
from Henry. All right, before we get into all of that, we're brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. It's a hectic time of year between weddings, graduations, spring sports, and more. We're busier than ever right now, and sometimes we forget to take a second for ourselves. So this season, take a second to enjoy an ice-cold Coors Light because you deserve a beer that's made to chill. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know when it is time to chill, when you need to hit the reset button. Just open up a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. I love to have a Coors Light. When the sun starts to shine, you get those beautiful Coors Light, those mountains that are so blue, just sitting there in your cooler. There is no better feeling in the world with Coors Light. It is the beer literally made to chill. We love Coors Light, one of our favorite sponsors on this show. So go right now, grab a Coors Light, Drizzly or Instacart, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Light, the beer literally made to chill. Thank you to Coors Light, our favorite beer in the entire world. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by Coors Light. Today is Wednesday, April 13th, and the play-in games fucking rule. So we're doing this all from home. The rest of the show is in studio, but we decided for the listeners, you know, we're huge. Ball is life. We watched all the play-in games so we could give everyone a recap of Glue Girl and Pat Beverly and the Nets and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think Skip Bayless said it best. Whatever happened to LeGon James? That's the real storyline. But no, you're right. Like Pat Bev, this was the Pat Bev game. I fucking love that guy. He's the best. He's the absolute best. He's the best agitator. He's the best pest. He could be a good hockey player. He's fun to watch, man. And this was personal for him. You saw, like Play in P said before the game, we talked about in the last show that this was not going to be Pat Beverly against the Clippers. Pat took that personally.
I was thinking about it because it really was like, you know how whenever Patrick Beverly does something, it's like, oh, a Pat Bev moment, right? On Twitter. We had like 1,000 of those in one single game tonight. The reason why he is so great and like so much fun to watch, we as fans always are like, we wish that the guys that we rooted for, they obviously care, but that they cared like so personally as much as we do. And he is like the epitome of that. He cares more than any fan that's in there. He cares so much that he like was motherfucking Steve Ballmer. He was yelling at every single player. Like it was so personal for him, and it was so much fun to watch. And he and Anthony Edwards put on a goddamn show. Like Anthony Edwards, I also love when players have a heat check and it goes so poorly. Anthony Edwards had that run in the fourth quarter where he was like dunking, hitting threes. And then they had a 4-on-1 where he just had like, I don't know, 3 full seconds with no one around him. And he completely airballed the 3. And I was like, that's my guy, because in life, you got to take heat checks. And he took a heat check and he missed with an airball, but it doesn't matter because he had a hell of a game. And it was so much fun to watch the Timberwolves. Like the crowd was insane, everything, all of it. And the Clippers, like the Clippers are the same team as they always are. They're just the same team. Like playoff P plays really well for a while, and you're like, damn, this guy's so good. And then they give up a lead in the fourth quarter, and the team with like younger guys who are more exciting and want it more end up beating them. It's just I feel like I watch the Clippers every year, the same exact story every single year.
So back to your point about Pat Bev being the guy that tries as hard as fans think that they would try if they were in a game. He's not a guy that you want like necessarily to be a featured player on your team in a series. He's not going to go out there and win a series by himself, but the play-in game is the perfect environment for Patrick Beverly because it literally is just like one game. Go out and give everything that you have. And that's like that's the antithesis of what the Clippers are and what they've been made out of. Paul George had a couple nice shots. He played pretty well. I don't think that there's any player in the NBA that travels as much as Paul George. Like dads across America were screaming at their television, just throwing shit out there, being like, they don't call carries, they don't call steps anymore in this game.
More than travels, he's push off P. He just pushes off on every single possession, which I mean, there's something about Paul George. Like when you watch him play, you're like, damn, that guy's really good, but it doesn't really mean anything. Like when you like, even the fucking three that he hit at the end when they're down like 8 or whatever. And it was just a beautiful, like he launched a perfect shot from, I don't know, 40 feet. It was like, yep, that's playoff P right there. That's play-in P. And the Clippers now have to go fight for their lives. And the Timberwolves, it felt like justice that both of the 7, like the teams with the 7 seed, was it with the Wolves?
It was with 7,
right? Yeah, the 7, right. It feels like justice like when that happens because I love the play-in game. I think last year I poo-pooed it. I was like glued to my television at night. I still like part of me feels like it would be so wrong if like a 7 seed ended up missing the entire playoffs.
Oh, for sure. I mean? But it's great that it played out this way. You were glued to the TV. Right. The fans were glued to the court. A-Rod was spilling Tito's and sodas everywhere. The environment, I love the environment in Minnesota. And after the game, I think Karl Anthony Towns was the one that they interviewed. It could have been Anthony Edwards. I'm not sure. But one of the guys said, like, I think this is the first game that we've had all season that's been on television. I don't think that's entirely correct, but I know what he's saying. Like, it's the first time that I've been exposed as a fan to like watching Minnesota Timberwolves, a home game that gets that loud. I'm actually pumped for that series against the Grizzlies because I think the teams are very similar in terms of like the Grizzlies were always the team, even when they kind of stunk, that would sneak into the playoffs. And they're the team that would like give the 2 seed or the 1 seed absolute hell in the first round because they played so hard. Them against the Timberwolves. I'm glad that we get to see Minnesota and that home stadium a few more times this postseason. Now, as for the woman that glued herself to the court, the attempted gluing, I did a little bit of research on what she was protesting exactly. And
what happened?
This woman, PFT will tell you exactly what she was doing, but this woman, the game stopped for a minute. A woman basically just like covered her hand and it looked like Elmer's glue, like the glue that you use when you're doing a project in kindergarten, not like actual epoxy or Gorilla glue that might actually have a chance of sticking. And she just slapped her hand on the floor and was laying there. It was an all-time visual when Patrick Beverly, another Patrick Beverly moment, was standing over her and a security guard. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And her palm print was on the baseline.
Well, she stopped the security guard. She was like, no, you can't take me off. My hand stuck to the court. You're not going to be able to move me at all. I don't know what kind of glue was
forever to set in. And it only works if you're literally gluing like a bunch of little tiny stars to a piece of paper.
It would have been great if she were protesting animal abuse with something that was literally made from Seattle Sue's grandson, I think it was Elmer's, which I don't believe is made from horse hooves, but she was protesting the Timberwolves owner, Glenn Taylor. He has a farm, and on his farm, it's a chicken farm.
He sold the team to A-Rod though, didn't he?
He technically he's still involved. He's like doing one of those transition, like you know how the Wilpons are kind of like around the Mets. He's doing a transitional thing where in 2023 is when A-Rod and Mark Laurie finally take over. But it is kind of funny because it's like Glenn Taylor's. You could have done this. I guess the Timberwolves haven't been in the playoffs a lot, but you could have done this at any point that he owned the teams.
Well, no, because
in the last like 25 years.
What she was protesting wasn't just his chicken farm. She was protesting the fact that he very recently had to kill a bunch of chickens because they all got bird flu. And so she's going to be shocked when she finds out what it is a chicken farm does with the chickens, even when they're not sick. But that's what she was making a statement about. It was very funny, like her pretending that her hand couldn't move off the court, and then the handprint that was left afterwards. It looked like a CSI episode. It was just a crazy environment. I loved watching.
Yeah, it was insane. And yeah, you're right. Like, I don't know her protest. I bet you Pete is going to come out and speak against her, because the one thing I've learned about all these protests is Pete has got its shit together, and these like rogue animal people always make PETA look bad, because she looked like a fucking moron with her hand glued to the like, what do you think there was some meeting beforehand where she's like, all right, like I could run on the floor, everyone's done that, what if I glue myself to the floor with glue that will take 60 to 90 minutes to set in and is literally only used for paper mache, not body parts to wood? It's not even wood glue. Like, if she'd used wood glue, I would have been like, hey, good try, good effort. It still wouldn't have worked, but at least it would have been the correct glue to get yourself on the floor.
It doesn't even really work for construction paper. The only thing that it's meant for. It's like subpar. She would have been better if she had a glue stick that she smuggled in and tried to use one of those things. I don't think that there was a meeting, because to have a meeting, you have to have friends. And she didn't really strike me as somebody that has a vast network. But I think you're right about PETA, that it's almost not like they have their shit together, but they get jealous. They have they're warlords. PETA's a warlord. So if anybody is protesting animal rights, and they're not under the purview of PETA and not being monitored by PETA, then they're like, nope, they're not part of the tribe. Sorry, we don't avow what she's doing.
Yeah, it was an all-time night. And we also should mention D'Angelo Russell was like incredible. I loved, like, the Timberwolves have a bunch of young talent, and it was like each guy picked a spot, like, all right, I'm going to carry the team. And except for Karl Anthony Towns, who I actually like, he has to feel terrible right now, because the game changed when he fouled out. Like, it was a direct there was two runs that happened in this game. One was the glue girl run, where she glued herself to the floor, and the Timberwolves finished the second quarter on a hot run. And then the second was in the fourth quarter, when Karl Anthony Towns, who had a horrendous game, complained about every foul, horrendous game. Like, everyone who's like, who criticizes him and says that he should be so much better than he is, and he's soft and all these things. Tonight was not a night that he proved the naysayers wrong. And then he gets fouled out, and the Timberwolves make a run and win that game. If you're Karl Anthony Towns, you shouldn't even shower. You should just go get in your car and be like, all right, we're in the playoffs. I'll try again on Saturday.
I think he had 3 assists, 4 turnovers, 5 rebounds, 6 fouls.
And 3 for 11 from the field.
Yeah, not a great night for him. And now, a little sneak preview of later on this morning on Undisputed. Are the Timberwolves better without Karl Anthony Towns? Is the question many people are asking.
Sure. I'm signing up for it. What are you going to say, Hank?
I'm seeing some narratives about people like kind of roasting the Timberwolves for celebrating the fact that they won the game. And LeBron posted a bunch of crying emojis immediately after the TNT coverage was showing like Pat Beverly throwing his jersey in the crowd. NBA on TNT was roasting them. Like, this is no different. Obviously, it's new. The play-in tournament's new, but this is no different than an MLB team celebrating like the divisional round, an NFL team. Like, this is a round of the playoffs. The NBA made this a round of the playoffs. If you win at home, you celebrate.
Not only that, but let's give a shout out to.
And LeBron didn't even make the playoffs. But what's he crying emojiing?
I'm sure Hank would keep that same energy if LeBron had celebrated a play-in tournament win, right?
Yeah, or Minnesota AWLs. Minnesota.
Well, you can't even make the playoffs, so that's not a problem.
But they are the Minnesota franchises can absolutely. Whenever we say like, oh, Buffalo or Cleveland, Minnesota sports have taken the cake. Like, now that Atlanta's won a couple, with Georgia and the Braves, Minnesota is an absolute factory of sadness. The Timberwolves had Kevin Garnett, who is a top 75 player of all time. They went to one Western Conference final with him. Like, the Twins have lost, because I've been in a little bit of a fight with the Twins Twitter because they don't post their losses. And I actually feel bad because Twins fans are like, dude, we've lost 13 straight playoff games. I think that's right. 13 straight playoff games, which is almost impossible to do. And I think they've all been to the Yankees. The Vikings are the Vikings, and Kirk Cousins is their quarterback. And they're the state of hockey, and the Minnesota Wild just losing the playoffs in the first or second round every year. So if you're a Minnesota fan, celebrate like this is a championship, because it has been that bad, and they deserve a young, fun team like this. You just wish Karl Anthony Towns was a little bit better. But Anthony Edwards, when he dunks so fucking hard. He wants to kill the rim. I love it. I love watching him play. And that's Tom Crean made, by the way. That's Tom Crean made. Remember that for the resume. Tom Crean coached Anthony Edwards at Georgia.
He's also a guy that likes to get his eyes above the rim. I feel like every time I see him throwing down, he's like staring down into the basket, which is always cool to watch. What were you saying, Hank?
Calling him Ant. Ant is a fucking cool thing.
I have it on mute, but TNT is just cooking them. Like they're here. I can't. I have it on mute, but they're like
on that one
showing replays of them celebrating and like posting like people's tweets and stuff, laughing.
No, I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, you can't tell a franchise to act like you've been there before when they have absolutely not.
Not only that, but sports is about enjoying the ride. Like only one team wins. What the fuck are we doing? You have to enjoy the ride. You have to enjoy these moments. If you don't, there's no reason to be a sports fan.
Can you imagine telling
Timberwolves are not going to win the title this year?
Imagine telling Minnesota Timberwolves fans like, "Hey, don't celebrate until you get to NBA Finals." It's like, what are you going to do? Why would you ever show up to anything? You would never have joy.
I have friends from Minnesota, and it's like literally, I actually remember when KG, they went to the Western Conference Final, because I was in college at the time, and it was like, we've never had this, and they never had it again. Like, that's what happens with Minnesota sports. So fuck that. Fuck all the haters. Minnesota fans, justice for you. Enjoy the hell out of tonight. If I were you, I'd watch every single replay of Anthony Edwards dunks and Patrick Beverly screaming at everyone and Karl Anthony Towns fouling out and complaining about fouls. One quick thing about LeBron. I don't want to make this playoffs about LeBron, but he's going to definitely try to make the playoffs about him. Did you see he also tweeted like 2 hours ago? He said, "I'm sitting here after watching the WNBA draft the other day and wondering why the hell do these young ladies have to stay in school for 4 years before being able to go pro? I'm confused." There's no way he watched the WNBA draft. There's a 0.0% chance. If he was watching the WNBA draft, he would have tweeted it during the WNBA draft, not 24 hours later, being like, just a thought I've had on my mind recently.
Well, it was Taco Tuesday.
Thoughts.
It was Taco Tuesday today, Big Cat. His brain was elsewhere. He was thinking about dinner all day. Then he probably had, I'm going to check his Instagram, see how many stories he had to put up while he was cooking Taco Tuesday today. But yes, I did see what LeBron had. I have LeBron notifications set up on Twitter.
There's no way.
That's the best way to use the platform. Platform. Way. Speaking of LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers at least advanced farther in the playoffs than he did.
Yes, that's true. They're now going to be playing on Friday night. Let's talk about that game. I have a series of the year bet.
Oh, see,
a series of the year. Interesting. I'm doing a season of the year with the Pirates, but series of the year.
Series of the year bet.
I mean, I don't have it right because the fact that you just did it with that transition.
What were you going to say, Hank? What's your guess? What was your guess?
Well, I was confused because when you said that, I looked at like there wasn't series odds for the Celtics one. So my guess was the Warriors, but I didn't feel great about it. But clearly with the way you just set this up, it's not, I don't think it's good for me.
Well, I guess it's depending on if you think I'm bad at my series of the year bets. I think the Celtics are going to beat the Nets.
Oh,
I watched like that game tonight. Kyrie didn't miss a shot for 3 quarters.
And the Cavs were shooting 40%. The Cavs didn't play good. And they almost won. Cavs are fucking
that game. Yeah, Kyrie Irving played perfect basketball. Kevin Durant was, obviously Kyrie Irving was going off, but they were doubling him. So he was facilitating more than he, usually does. He could probably, Kevin Durant could score 35 any night he wants. But I watched that game being like, the Nets just don't have any defense, and the Nets are playing perfect and the Cavs are still in this game. That game made no sense when you're watching it. The way the Nets were playing, they would be up 20 and you'd be like, game over. They were up 40-20 to start after the first quarter. And then because they can't play defense, the Cavs would just keep coming back. Hank, I'm sorry, but I think that the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving Nets have been vastly overrated and everyone's scared of them. I think the Celtics are going to beat them in 6.
I mean,
I agree with that.
Your bet -115.
I like that a lot. I think the Celtics are a way better in terms of team basketball. They're a million times better. Kevin Durant's like probably the greatest like pure scorer probably of all time, and he took over in the fourth quarter. Going against that's never fun, but I agree with you that the Celtics are a way better team, and they have way better defense. Obviously, they don't have Robert Williams, but still, like their team defense should help with that. And I agree. I'm with you.
The Nets have to play perfect basketball. They have to have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving play perfect basketball. And I wasn't like, I didn't have an opinion on this series before tonight, obviously because it wasn't set. But when I saw that it was like, it's PFT, I think it's -110 Celtics to win the series. And I was like, what's going on here?
I think you're insane, actually. I think that the Nets are going to whomp the Celtics. I really do. I think it's going to be a whomping. Because yes, it's going to be WHOMP, a whomping, IN'. When they want to play well, they can play well. They are the rare team that I think the switch can be flipped on. And so
the Celtics, but they couldn't even flip it tonight because the Cavs kept on coming back.
They did though. They were flipping it on and then flipping it off. You could pinpoint the moments
do that against
they flipped
a good
it on.
Team. You can't
I think
do that
they
against
can.
a good team.
The Cavs have their best players are injured, and they still won the game because they're scrappy as fuck, and they're a great team basketball team. So that's why they kept it close. The Celtics minus Robert Williams have their best players. Like
listen, I'm gonna wait to. I'm gonna look at it more, so I'm not gonna release it yet. I'll release it if I release it. It'll be like on Friday. I just don't. I saw that line and I was like, why is everyone? Because obviously the conversation going into this weekend, last weekend was like everyone's trying to avoid the Nets, and I get it. Obviously, the Nets are way better than the Bulls right now. The Bulls are fucking complete garbage. So the Bucks were smart to do that. I just don't. I don't know. I
have a prediction. So also playing into my prediction here is I do think that Ben Simmons is coming back. I think that he's ready. I think that they've just been waiting to get him back out there.
Good.
You saw him. Let me ask you this. A guy that is going to be out for the remainder of the playoffs, do you think he would sit directly in the middle of the bench wearing a neon green leprechaun Notre Dame mascot uniform with shorts? That was like, that's
Ben Simmons,
I don't think so.
yes.
I think
I would love it if he comes back. He's not like they're not going to know how to play with him.
And by the way, I've never noticed this about Ben Simmons tonight. From like the waist up, he's not like an enormously tall guy. His shins are gigantic. His shins were like half a foot taller than anybody else that was sitting down on the side. His knees were so high. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's a very tall guy, 6'10".
I do think that he's going to come back. I think that he's ready to come back.
Here's the other thing that made me think that this might be a series of the year bet. After the game, I think it was Bruce Brown said this when he was like, we're going to just attack them because they don't have Williams because he's hurt still. And Kevin Durant then went and corrected him and was like, whoa, like I think he said like that's crazy. Like every game is going to be tough. This is going to be a difficult team. I don't know.
They had like the number one again. Robert Williams being out is bad, but he was one part of the Celtics. The second half of the season, like, have played unbelievable team basketball and unbelievable defense. Like they're going to be absolutely like ready to fight. It's not going to be. It's not going to be a whomping. A whomping is cap.
It's no knock on KD and Kyrie. They're clearly incredible. I just don't know how defensively they can play 7 games and like get stops when they need to. I trust the Celtics to get a stop before I trust the Nets. Watching tonight's game, the Cavs, the Nets should have beaten the Cavs by 40, and it should have been over after the first quarter. Should have been like, all right, this game's over. And the Cavs just kept on coming back. And I guess maybe it's more scrappy Cavs, but I just watched. I was like, what the fuck?
I think it's scrappy Cavs, and they kept coming back, but it never felt super close. It never felt like the Nets were in any real serious danger. They'd be, within like 5-6 points, whatever that was. But every single time that it got that close, the Nets they flipped the switch again. I think the Nets are just that good. And Hank, you don't think it's going to be whomping. I think it's going to be whomping. I think it's not going to go 7. That's what I mean. I think it's Nets and
Celtics
6.
and 5.
Celtics in 5, Nets in 6. So if it doesn't go 7 and your team and Celtics win, I'll stop saying cap forever. And likewise, you have to stop saying. I want to nip that in the bud. I hate hearing you say cap.
All right.
Did you see the commercial where the dude says cap and then the lady's like, ugh. And I was like, oh, that's part of my take.
Yeah.
Like they just stole our bit, but it's not a bit because PFT says it.
No, I brought cap back.
Yeah. Yes. Ugh. Is exactly what I say. That game though, obviously, yeah. I mean, Kyrie was insane. It was insane to watch him. What did he end up from the field? He was at one point he was 11 for 11.
12 of 15, 3 of 6 from 3, 7 of 7 from the line.
That's crazy. He was so good. And like I said, Kyrie or KD didn't even like have to assert himself offensively until the very end. But
it is scary.
He is. He's the best scorer in the NBA. He is the best scorer in the NBA. Like,
what about our friend Blake? Is Blake? Where's his health at right now?
We got Blake issues, boys.
He's getting iced. He's getting iced out.
The Blakes are.
Yeah, we are the only Blake that's doing well right now is the original Blake in Bortles because you just know even if he's not playing on a team, he's just happy.
Well, because he's doing awesome because he's unemployed and it's about to be summertime. That's awesome.
Right.
You can't have a better career than that. That's the goal.
I did talk to Blake Griffin a couple days ago. Yeah, he's ready to go. So let's put him in. Put him in, coach. Let's get him in. Let's get him some minutes. Let's get him some. It's playoff basketball time. You need people out there doing the hard shit. And Blake's ready to go.
Yep.
So,
couldn't have said it better myself. Put Blake in. Give Blake some minutes. He's a spark plug. That might be what the Nets need to toughen up a little bit. He's going to go out there and Blake's going to give you 6 hard fouls.
We got to go to one of the games.
Yes, we should go to one of the games. We absolutely will go to one of the games. So I'm holding back my series of the year bet until Friday. I'm going to decide, but that's the way I'm leaning. I saw that price and I was like, even if it goes 7, I would trust the Celtics at home over the Nets. PFT, you think it's a whomping?
I think it's a whopping, guys. I don't care where they play the games. You can play it anywhere. You can play in the Hoosiers gym. You play. I don't care.
Jake, any cool things that do you think Patrick Beverly was maybe yelling too much?
No, it was awesome. But like, I understand why people are mad. Also, Big Cat, Minnesota fans are going to come after you because you forgot the Minnesota Lynx have won 4 WNBA titles since 2011.
That's LeBron's fault. He should have reminded everyone tonight. If LeBron had any couth, he should have tweeted, Minnesota fans, why are you celebrating like this? You got a dynasty in the WNBA. That would have been a tweet I would have gotten behind from LeBron.
Right. Also, the Grizzlies versus Timberwolves logos are way too similar in terms of colors. I don't know if you've seen them side by side, but it's interesting.
I do think that I miss the old Grizzlies uniforms. Those were maybe the best in sports.
They wear them sometimes.
Yeah, it's always so cool when they do. And I always think Bryant Reeves, Big Country Reeves. That's what those old Vancouver Grizzlies remind me of. I do think that the Timberwolves have awesome jerseys, though. Very underrated uniforms.
Yeah, they do. That I'm excited. The playing game. Good job, Adam Silver. Like I said last year, I'm pretty sure I shit on it because I am like deathly afraid of a team. I'm gonna look it up right now, but like the idea that a team could win. Let's see. Like for instance, the Timberwolves. The idea that the Timberwolves could somehow miss the playoffs and they have 12 more wins than the Spurs, that would like piss me off to no end. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would make me so angry to be like, how is that? How can you have that happen when a team like the Spurs are 34-48 and could make the playoffs?
Guess what? Ball don't lie.
Don't lie. So we got the results we wanted tonight. Like those are good games. The 2 home teams won. The 2 higher seeds won. Hank, you are now in it's Hank versus Frank. You're in a fight to the death with Frank Fleming.
Well, I think me and Frank are probably on the same page that the Nets are bad. So that part is good. I also have a humongous amount on the Pelicans to make it to the playoffs, which means they have to win today as you're listening and then beat the Clippers, which is a revenge game for our bet versus them in New Orleans. So I don't know about that. Now that it's all kind of played out. Well, it's like they played at the end of the regular season. They could have clinched a playoff berth. They got smoked. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
I don't feel
And they have
great
to-
about it. I don't
they
feel
have to-
great about it.
They have to play on Wednesday night and then fly to LA.
Yeah.
Yikes. So
And-
they're playing
anything
Wednesday
can
night in New Orleans and they have to fly to LA right after the game to go play the Clippers.
Anything can happen.
But it's playing P.
Yeah.
Come on. And either of those teams is just going to get smoked by the Suns. So that's actually the best part of tonight is that the Timberwolves didn't deserve to get smoked by the Suns. Like that, they can win a couple games against the Grizzlies. The playing against the Suns would have been very, very bad because the Suns are that good.
Cavs might beat the Heat.
Hank,
Hank just wants
you're just
to eat.
gonna.
This is Hank chasing his bet.
Hank,
We've
You
all
saw
been
it, dude.
there.
They're scrappy as fuck.
Hank is the dog in the fire sipping the coffee, just being like the Cavs could beat slim fill-in team.
Dude,
I'm just
they
gonna say-
almost beat them tonight. Imagine if they had Jared Allen. Like,
But they didn't really almost like
They didn't really.
keep it close. But
They
like it was
were
never.
like 2 possessions away in the fourth quarter.
But they never took the lead.
No, but it was close-ish. They covered.
They did cover it easily.
It's true.
Yeah. All right.
I just
Um.
Hank will. I know what you're doing, and you were right about the Cavs when you put a bet on them earlier this year. I think that's what you want is to be acknowledged that you were correct about the Cavs.
You were.
You were the only
You absolutely
person
were.
in
I
all of
I
media
lost the bet.
across the board. Yeah, but you were still right, even though you were wrong. You were more right than anybody else was about the Cavs.
Right.
So I think you can take your victory lap on that, but let's not get delusional here.
That's
Yeah, because they
that might
might
be
not
my
even-
series of the year.
But they
before it
might not even-
happens.
They might not even make the playoffs.
We'll cross
would
that bridge
actually-
when we get there.
That would be perfect though. If they didn't make the playoffs, Hank could always say forever, like that Cavs team would have beaten that Heat team.
Yes. If Jared Allen came back, which is he coming back? I love Jared Allen.
I don't know. He was questionable and then he was ruled out. He's probably not going to be back full strength either way. But if they win on, what is it, Thursday, then I think I'll
Friday.
be back for Miami.
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. All right. And 3:30 is your game on Sunday, Hank. I'm at 6:30. So it's NBA playoffs, and we credit to us. It's 1:00 in the morning. Bubba and Memes are still at the office. So is Evan. We're in playoff mode.
Yeah. Shout out the boys for getting the YouTubes up early.
Yes. All right. Let's go to the rest of the show in studio. A little contentious. Before we get to the rest of the show, quick word from our friends at Roman. You know when you're wearing a great outfit, everything just looks right and your confidence is soaring. You can walk into a room knowing you're on your A game. If you've been struggling, Roman can give you that same feeling. The folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes, the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and fast acting, but don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the packet, swipe it on, let it dry, and you're good to go. That's it. Go to getroman.com/take to get $10 off when you choose a monthly plan. That's getroman.com/take, getroman.com/take. Okay, let's get into the rest of the show. We have Craig Robinson coming up. Anyone sent any cool text messages the last 24 hours?
Oh, we're doing this.
Well,
We have to bring it up.
I thought it was Firefest. Yeah, we got a
Well,
couple days.
all right,
We can't
Firefest,
sit
go
on
now.
it for that long.
Yeah.
Hank, I just want to say before you walk us through what's been going through your mind and how you feel, I just want to say I'm on your side on this.
I don't know what you're talking about, and neither
All
do the
right, so
listeners.
so let me explain it. So I was sitting minding my own business at home on Monday night. I was actually putting my kids to sleep, and I get a text message. And
You're a
it's,
father?
Yeah, I'm a father too.
Never
And I
mentioned
got
it.
bothered by you, Hank, with this text message.
Sorry to your one kid.
That's 2. Trolling me.
My bad.
Well, actually, it's 3.
Hank's
Billy and you too, because now I have to worry about what you're going to text to everyone. So 4.
This is Hank lashing out right
Oh,
now.
big time.
This is about to
lashing
get
out.
contentious. I don't like
Oh
this.
no, yeah, Jake's nervous. So there was a text message thread that Caleb, our great colleague Caleb, started 6 years ago at the Super Bowl. It was me, Caleb, Dave, Gaz, and Hank. We were at the Super Bowl. I think it was probably after a late night of drinking. It was 3:23 in the morning. He texted everyone, "Good night, fam." I texted "One love" because I love you guys. And
He named the group.
named the group Fam Flash, no text messages on that group chain for 6 years. Flash forward to last night, and Hank sends us a picture of just a sweaty face staring deep into our souls.
His sweaty face.
And it says F45 day 1 check mark. And we're all like, huh? And I actually didn't even, I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is weird. And then I just kept on doing what I was doing. And then an hour later, Hank was like, whoops, I meant to send this to my family. And since then, yeah, it's pretty much the worst people you could ever send a text message to, me, Dave, and Gaz. The internet has memed you. And I'm uncomfortable with you in the room. I submitted an HR complaint because you
snitch,
unsolicited.
That's a snitch.
Big suit energy.
Because you're my boss now.
I'm not.
And you work on the third floor, and the power structure.
These things for your
the power
narrative.
structure is so off that you send me.
There is no power
No,
structure.
you
send
literally
me-
sit.
nothing has
Hank,
changed.
you
Yeah.
sit on top of us.
Yeah, you sent us. You sent me a picture that made me feel uncomfortable, and then you tried to silence me by calling me a snitch. That's fucked up.
It is a snitch
Did I say
move
the S
that
word, or
that
did you? Did BF?
I,
Also,
I
I-
did because you turned him into HR. You
Well,
settled that on the streets.
When I turned him into HR, I actually just went upstairs. I was like, "Where's HR?" And they like just pointed in the corner, and I just said out loud, "I'd like to file a complaint against Hank," and then walked back downstairs.
Hank does sit in the corner office upstairs.
No,
too.
I
That is
sit. I
true.
sit with HR, so I took the complaint and just fucking.
See,
So you
this is the
control
power
it. You
structure.
control it,
This
yeah.
is the power structure.
This is corruption all the way down.
So Hank, I'm uncomfortable being around you, but I guess I have to power through. Credit to me.
I feel like you should be supporting. I don't know. Like again, like
No, I don't want that picture.
Caleb. I blame. I'd say 48% of the blame is on Caleb. 48% of the blame is on Loud Sean for spiking my phone, which forced me to get a new one. Which, when I turned it on, all the messages like repopulated, but only from Saturday night. Like it was like that was the last time my cloud updated, which was no. Who cares? Like it was a day's worth of meaningless text messages. But this group text, the PMT group text, my friends from home, and my family group text like didn't show up, and I was like, whatever, new phone blues. I texted this group literally just to make sure like things were going through, and then yeah, I worked out again, new phone, so I was sweating, and I didn't think the flash was on. Like I'm not used to my flash on my selfies
It's
being
a
on.
shocking picture.
So I typed in fam because that's what my family group text is called, and I don't know. I wasn't factoring in this fucking Super Bowl crew from 6 years ago. Typed in
Whoa,
fam.
you say that like that's your fam.
It's not my fam.
Yeah, it is.
You know
It's
what?
not.
That fam was the first time I ever hung out with the company as a whole. I remember
Yeah.
that. You know what? That was probably post Second Slices at the House of Prime Rib.
Yeah, House of Prime Rib, and you that's your family or your
Was
my
my
family, and you just. I mean, I don't know. The best was that Hank texted me after on the
Either way,
side.
I went back and texted, and when I realized that it was those three, I like pretty much I got paralyzed
he
from
said-
embarrassment.
yeah, he said
once
to
I
me-
realized it was Gaz, like I said earlier, like if it was maybe Caleb and Big Cat, like you probably would have posted it, but maybe wouldn't have, or like I could have.
It would have
talked you out
been
of it.
50-50, yeah.
Gaz probably definitely would have. Dave probably wouldn't have, just because he wouldn't have known what was going on, and like Caleb wouldn't have like. But the fact that it was all three of you just like
egging
piling
each other on
was just.
And
I knew it was there was no shot.
Hank
at-
sent me a text after. He's like, I haven't felt like this in a really long time. And it just made me so happy because, like, this guy, he's been promoted to vice president of Barstool Sports. He's literally our boss.
Executive vice
And
president.
he's still, but it's nice because we can do like a throwback 2014 Hank embarrasses himself. Just when you thought that the suit had gotten, you'd graduated.
I don't think it was anything to be embarrassed. I thought you looked good. You looked like you were in shape.
scary.
Well, it's just such a weird
I
picture.
think-
to
I'm
take.
scared.
Like
Listen.
it wasn't like I wasn't thinking like when you take a selfie. Sometimes you take a picture, and I don't know. Again, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was sending it to my flesh and blood.
Yeah, so
I was
that-
actually sending it to literally.
Would they
like,
have been as scared as I
that
was?
was my biggest
No, they would've
question
been
out
like,
of
yes,
this, Hank,
good
is
job, how
because,
was it? Like,
I,
blah,
I
blah, blah.
understand how it's.
Here's me playing paddle tennis.
I
Like,
understand
this
how
is
it's
my Wordle
embarrassing.
score. It's like just it's family shit. It's not like. I don't really drop in that much. Like I'm probably the least active.
You
and
never
like,
do it again.
They're
Yeah.
kind of like, why don't you ever update us? And I'm like, I don't really have much update. I'm like, oh, I worked out. Like, here we go.
Yeah, that was my biggest question
just
because
brutal.
I understand how the mishap
Just
can happen,
brutal.
but the big question is why are you sending your family sweaty photos of yourself after working out?
It was just like, here's an update. Like, I don't play Wordle. I don't like.
Also,
really,
it
I'm
didn't
not, like,
prove that you worked out. It could be like your air conditioning couldn't have worked. Like you weren't at the gym. You were just sweaty and scary.
I actually listen. Hank,
It was a
scared.
mistake. Like, it wasn't something I really thought out. It was just like, here's a quick little text message, and no one's gonna see it. And
The
it's
memes were very funny.
just to my family, and then. Yeah, fucking that's where it's like I regretted anything I've ever done to help memes. I regretted.
Oh,
in the past
memes
2
went
days.
memes went
Memes
nuclear.
blacked out.
when meme smells blood in the water, it's all over.
When he
He's-
sees a new meme template just hit the internets, it's like over for a while. Like
Like
memes.
his timeline was like 100 tweets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
there's
imagine
gonna be-
memes just like
his
tells. I don't know. I think he might live with his parents. He's like, "Mom, like clear my schedule. I got memes to make."
There's going to be a couple things he works in. One, he's absolutely going to do the Vin Diesel, the goodbye to Paul
yeah.
Walker with it. He's probably going to work in a Castellanos here or there. But I think that when I first saw it, it came through on my radar
talking about
from
this for
Tom
like an hour.
Fernelli.
Yeah.
No, because it's interesting, Hank. It came through.
It's a sports. I thought it was a sports podcast.
Tom-
well, you were working out.
Tom-
F45.
Tom Fernelli sent it to us, and I looked at it, and he said,
They're all
like,
probably gonna hear
Hank's
this now,
down
like, I don't
bad.
even wanna- that's the worst
And
part,
I was
like, I don't
saying,
wanna
I
go
don't
back.
understand why Hank is down bad. And I checked Twitter like 20 minutes later, and I was like, oh,
Sound
now
really
I get
bad.
it. But I thought, like, this might be just a sneaky way of Hank letting everybody know that he was in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool.
No, but like it's worse because it's day one and like
Yeah,
you
who
know,
brags
knows
about
if it's
day
gonna
one, yeah.
last, and now it kind of has to last.
Oh
because,
yeah.
like
You better get that six pack, buddy.
in 30 days people are gonna be like, what day? Like which I guess isn't the worst. Like it's forcing me. It's gonna like I've been publicly shamed to continue working out, which is probably good for me, but just really really bad, really embarrassing. Like I just like
I was laughing so hard last night.
no, I didn't move from my couch, and I tried to just tweet through it. Like I tried to just
Oh, yeah.
bet the Padres Giants first 5 innings over, and just like tweet about that a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
no,
that
Didn't really
hit?
matter. No, there was like 10 runners left on base. Second and third every single inning for both teams. It was
I think that was the last thing I
Disgusting.
talked to Hank last night. He just texted me. He's like, "I really need 5 runs in these first 5 innings."
Yeah, what you should have done is just go on.
that would have been a
like,
little bit of like
You should have
Yeah.
just gone on a retweet spree and played ratio defense like Adam Schefter's playing.
there was
right
no
now,
positives.
where it's just you just retweet everything, and then you can't be ratioed.
I had nothing to there was no one in my corner. There was no one like, oh, this is funny, or like, you look good. It was just like, what the fuck? And a million memes, most of them from inside the house.
Yeah, the call's coming from inside the house. All right, well, I mean, but shit happens.
Congrats on the workout, Hank.
I also I also think Hank is now at the point between the Coach K, like the fact that he works like a 9 to 5 and has to put on a suit every day, and this picture, this boy needs the Celtics to win the title. Like we have now somehow gotten into it's never happened in the history of this podcast where people should actually be rooting for Hank's teams because they
You're
need
doing
to win.
this on purpose.
No,
You
I'm
know what
not.
you're doing.
I'm not.
We've never been on a goal
You're setting
streak
me
like
up to
this.
be down
This
worse.
is literally
I don't like
uncharted territory
Yeah.
for us as a podcast. You're such a
I'm
winner.
up
I've
good.
talked about
I'm
it.
up bad. I'm up great. What is it?
Yeah.
Down bad. I'm up good.
You're up good?
Well,
up
at least
good.
your favorite quarterback wasn't planning on coming back to play for the Dolphins as a team owner. That would have been tough.
Wait, so is that a story? Well, I saw the rumblings of that story.
I mean, there's about as good. What like you just live in fantasy land. Like Dan Snyder's going to sell a team. Tom Brady's going to play for the
No,
Dolphins.
Hank,
come back to earth.
He went after
Come
me
back
for being
to
a
earth.
dad. Now he's
last
coming
year.
after you.
This is exactly what happened. Tom Brady was going to take those meetings. He was going to come and play for the Dolphins. He was going to get Sean Payton to be the head coach of the Dolphins. He hates the Patriots so much, and you personally so much.
Why didn't
that
he
he
do it
wanted
then,
to stay in the
PFD? Like, you're just
because
this is
Brian.
literally fan fiction.
I'm telling
You've
you
just
why.
written-
I'm telling you why right
you
now.
and your dad
Because
are
the-
just write fan fiction for clicks.
because of the Brian Flores lawsuit.
Florio does borderline on fanfic sometimes. He had a tweet today about Aaron Rodgers is going to miss OTAs, and it's like, I fell for it. I was like, oh, is he going to hold out?
No.
Can he hold out?
Well, that's what's beautiful. The NFL does need like a what if guy.
Yeah.
And he's the ultimate what if guy.
Like, oh, they're already mad at each other.
But
all right.
Hank, you could also spin that to be like Bill Belichick actually
There's nothing to
released
spin.
that
That was
text
never gonna
message.
happen.
No, listen to me.
I'm not even listening to anything you're saying.
Bill Belichick sent that text message to Brian Flores telling him like, oh, congrats on the job, that whole thing. He sent that to him so that Brian Flores would then sue, prompting Tom Brady to not be able to play for the Dolphins.
There it is.
That actually adds up.
So you listen to it.
If it were something that happened, that would. But again, you're writing fan fiction because it all makes sense.
Well, we're in a lull right now. NBA playoffs
Clearly.
haven't fully started. Baseball just started. We haven't gotten to hockey playoffs yet. So posting gym selfies and getting mad about Tom Brady hypotheticals is what we have to do for content.
Why? I feel. Am I wrong, or did hockey playoffs start before the NBA?
Something happened this year. I don't know what. Did they have a break?
My internal clock has been so thrown
I agree.
off.
It always used to start.
Like
it
a
used
week
to be
and a
like
half
a week
before.
before.
The trucker convoy slowed it down.
Yeah, they don't start till March. May. May like 1st or 2nd is the first hockey.
So it's
playoff
going to
game.
end after NBA?
Yeah, I guess so. Although they do it a lot faster. Remember the NBA gets in that stretch where it's like
3 games.
Yeah,
or
3
days.
games.
It's like 3 days off. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
They take forever off. All right, well let's get to hot seat cool throne. Good news is brought to you by BetterHelp, Hank. If you
You did say a lot of things online last night that would make
You were
BetterHelp
saying
a natural
Suey
sponsor for you.
I was feeling suey season.
BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
That's great.
Hank, that's nice. You don't have to you don't have to have your face just staring through your therapist's soul on camera. But seriously, BetterHelp. You take care of a lot of things in life,
My eyes were popping. No one said that, but they were.
People don't always realize there's symptoms like headaches, teeth grinding, even digestive issues can be indicators of stress. We all deal with stress. You got to make sure that you take care of your mental. Stress shows up in all kinds of ways in a world that's telling you to do more, sleep less, and grind all the time. Here's your reminder to take care of yourself, do less, and maybe try some therapy. BetterHelp is a great way to get started. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/PMT. That's BetterHelp.com/PMT. That's 10% off your first month. Make sure you're taking care of yourself with BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/PMT. BetterHelp.com/PMT. Okay, Hank, hot seat, cool throne. Hot seat, you.
My hot seat's Philly.
Oh,
You're just leaning into this, huh?
No, not actually though. This is just nice. It was funny, but then the guy had a good response. Alec Baum. I don't know if you guys saw the clip.
yep.
Made a bunch of errors, and then when he was walking off the field, he said he fucking hates this place.
And so yeah,
Talking about Philly, he's a Phillies player.
So he's a Phillies player. He had 3 errors on the night. He said, "I fucking hate this place."
Which I was like
in a
all in on.
crazy turn of events because there was a lot of lip readers. I love when lip readers get going on the internet because it's kind of like the dress, which one you see or what was
Yanni?
Yanni or Laurel. People were saying he was saying, "Let's get out of this" or something
I
like
fucking
that.
hate this position.
Yeah, position.
People were trying to say that.
He actually in his post game did like the reporter asked him. He's like, "Yep, I said that. It was a moment of like anger." And
I had the quote.
Yeah, give me the quote.
I said it. Emotions got the best of me. Do I mean it? No. It's a frustrating night for me. These fans, they just want to win. They're great. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
And I think that actually ingratiates him to Philly even more.
I think actually the more you
I agree.
hate Philly, the more you love it.
Right.
Like I think it's totally appropriate. Even people,
Philly fans probably
even
hate
people
Philly.
from
Yeah, but they
Philadelphia
have to-
say,
Yeah.
"I fucking hate this place."
Right.
But that just means that you know Philly so well.
Yeah, you love each other,
Yes,
right?
it's a love-hate relationship, but it's at the same time.
Yeah, no, I was actually kind of like, I saw his response, like, holy shit. That was, because he could have easily said he said something else, and it just becomes a story that everyone talks about. He this is a PR 101 masterclass. I said it. I was emotional. I don't mean it. Move on. And it's like, yep, I actually like this guy now.
The truth will set you free.
Yeah.
I think Philly will respect that.
Yes.
In fact, like just based off what I saw on Twitter last night, all the Philadelphia fans that were replying to the story were like, "Yep, he gets it."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, your cool throne?
My cool throne is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
It appears it's not official, but a bunch of the MVP, NBA is just weird. All the writers say who they voted, so people put it together and realize Jokic is going to win again. I was looking at the list, we should try and get Jake a vote one of these days.
We should, but I have a question for everyone.
The Ringer has 12 votes.
Really?
That's entirely
We'll
too
have to
many
ask-
votes for the ringer.
Yeah, we'll have to ask
Russillo voted for him.
They
He
all
did?
go to Jason Tatum.
I would vote for Jokic. I would vote for Jokic if I had a vote. He had a ridiculous year, and he plays with like no one.
I voted for Embiid, personally.
Do you want to have a debate?
I think Embiid wins matter.
They have like pretty much the same amount of
Wins matter though.
Not as many as last year though.
Who?
Jokic.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
he's
I know
also
he's playing with
missing
like
two
complete
guys.
scrubs, and the wins matter thing doesn't really work when the
Embiid
Sixers
didn't
are
play
the
with
4
Simmons
seed.
for the whole. Yeah, because he didn't play with Simmons. The Harden got hurt. I'm just debating on their side, but
Yeah, there's been a very hard push for Embiid. I just think Jokic just played with like no one, and he does everything. But what I was gonna say is the MVP like debates to me might be for professional sports. They mean nothing. Like I don't remember. Do you remember any MVPs?
Yeah,
Like you
Bryce
remember
Harper.
some, but you don't remember. All, like it's not something like I remember that year. You remember who wins.
I don't know. I remember.
Quiz me.
I remember Carson Wentz got 2 MVP votes in 2017.
There you go. 2010. Any MVP. Give me any MVP from any league, Hank. See, this is my
LeBron.
point. This is my point.
I think it was LeBron.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
No.
Okay.
Dirk. I don't know.
Maybe it was. Yeah, could have been Dirk.
No, it was LeBron James.
It was LeBron.
I was right.
2008.
That was right before he left
2008.
Miami.
Any MVP?
LeBron.
No.
It wasn't KG.
This is
Paul
my
Pierce.
It wasn't Paul Pierce.
point.
Kobe. I would have got there. I was gonna.
Oh, you were gonna get there?
Yeah, I was
But
trying
when
to
they
think
get
of who
inducted in the
else
Hall
would
of
have been
Fame,
above
then
him.
you go back and be like, oh, they were an 8-time
Yes,
MVP.
of course. But I'm saying like in a certain who was the NFL MVP in 2008?
Brady.
Manning.
Peyton Manning.
That was bullshit.
I'm
that
fucking
was
on
when
fire
Brady got
right
injured.
Who was the MVP in 2012? Any MVP. This is just a game called
Chris
Any
Johnson.
MVP.
Drew Brees.
It was.
Peyton
no, I
with
think
the
actually
Denver.
I'm not looking this up. I know. I just looked up LeBron. I think it was Adrian Peterson. Wasn't that his year?
It might have been. Let's see. I'm looking it up right now. Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. I guess we do
MVPs
remember
matter.
some.
That was
MVPs
money.
matter. MVPs matter. I just like. I don't know. There's something about. I think like Jake said. It's at the end of your career when you're like that guy's a 3-time MVP. Then it matters. Like Steve Nash has 2 MVPs.
It's good during a player's career too, so that you can make the argument if you're getting into a debate.
Yeah.
If you find yourself in a situation where Hank, you're arguing against the entire city of Philadelphia, it would be good for you if Jokic won the MVP.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes. All right. Good hot seat, cool throne, Hank.
Good job, Hank. Hank's back, guys.
Hey, you guys are the real MVPs. Haha.
Nice.
Yeah,
Remember
thanks.
that?
Who said that?
Kevin Durant.
During.
The 2013 season. I think that's right.
Might have
Do you
been.
remember who he was talking to?
13.
The reporter?
No, his mom.
No, I think
yeah,
it was
no
his
shit.
team.
Obviously, no, it's his mom.
You made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
Yeah,
Hank-
I thought you were talking about the reporter.
You're the
real
real
MVP?
You're the real MVP, Hank.
Yeah.
2014.
Mr. Vice President.
Damn. All right, Pifty, your hot seat, cool throne.
My hot seat is Dan Snyder. For real this time.
Oh.
Legitimately, Dan Snyder, you crusty old bitch, you energy vampire, you piece of shit. I'm just falling into the Alex Jones thing where he yells at the camera. But there was a report that came out of Congress where Congress has been looking now into Dan Snyder's finances.
Wow.
They caught the fucker, and here's why I think that it's real. Okay, because
You think every time
I've
it's
fallen
real.
into
NFL
the
fan
trap.
fiction.
Literally
Shut
every
the
time
fuck
it
up,
makes
Hank.
you
I'm
feel
talking
that
right now. Who's
pro
talking?
football talk.
Hank, you had your
Even
turn.
blogs about
You had your turn.
speculation.
You had your turn, Hank. Now it's my
Hate
turn.
this. Hate this.
Hank, mute yourself for the rest of this conversation. So, as we discussed, when John Gruden got busted with those emails, right?
Correct.
And Adam Schefter was reporting on it, he pulled the clean sweep. He insulted females, minorities, and NFL commissioners.
Yes.
That's it. That's all the protected
He's the
classes.
owner?
Shut the fuck up, Hank. Dan Snyder has now been busted sexual harassment. He's been busted for persecuting minorities. And now, the clean sweep, Roger Goodell has been implicated too, because some of the ticket funds that Dan Snyder was misallocating actually came underneath Roger Goodell's tickets under his name for tickets that he was given to games. And so now it's like Roger Goodell's name is front and center in this. I think Dan Snyder is done. I think that motherfucker
we've never
is
heard
done.
that before.
I think he's going to get curb stomped by the rest of the owners. And also, it's been proven through the other books that have been released now, the documents that have been sent to Congress, that he was taking money out of the pockets of Jerry Jones, out of all the other owners. And if there's one thing, like, you can have 40 sexual harassment claims against you. If you take money from the other owners, that's when they're going to do something about it.
Or maybe they won't.
If it's the doomsday clock, it's never been closer to midnight than it is right now. I'm fucking pumped. I'm going to have a parade when Dan Snyder goes. When he's done, I cannot wait. Get the fuck out of here, you crusty old 5'5" bitch. Fuck you. I hate you. Die. Of natural causes, but quickly.
Okay.
Jake,
I'm looking
Jake
forward
is
to
not
it.
happy. Jake is not happy right now.
I mean, I'm rooting for you.
It doesn't sound like you are.
I am. I just how many times does this guy just have to skirt by before we're like, hey, he's just never gonna go away?
What's the difference between John Gruden and Dan Snyder?
People actually like John Gruden.
Well, Dan Snyder also owns the team,
Yeah, he owns the team.
right?
But
That would be
he's
the big difference there.
Another big difference is Dan Snyder's taking money from other owners who are the ones that get to decide whether or not he stays in the league.
I'm rooting for you. I just don't think. The guy survived everything. He's a fucking. He's a zombie. He's a zombie owner that will not die. So it's more like I just don't. I never. He gets out of everything.
You got to double tap him.
He gets out of everything.
And he's
dude.
done.
He gets out of everything.
I would literally give anything for anybody in the world besides Dan. Name anybody in the world. I would rather they be the owner of the
Putin.
Washington Commanders. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's kinda
Bring
fucked
Putin
up,
over
bro.
here. Well, maybe he would stop invading other countries
Wow.
if
Put
he
that
could.
on a quote card.
Yes, I would.
PFT wants Putin
I would rather
over Dan Snyder.
Putin is never.
OJ.
Yes. Oh, 100%. OJ? Yes. I guarantee you Dan Snyder's killed more people than OJ.
You think so?
Through grief, and sorrow,
Yeah,
and
that's
stress.
true. That's true.
He's almost killed me multiple. And that fucking stadium, it's a death trap.
falling
I would
apart.
rather live in Kiev than spend all my days and nights
I don't know,
underneath
dude.
the cement
Now we're
columns
getting-
of FedEx Field.
Yeah,
it's a death trap. People are going to die.
I'd still probably pick Landover,
Raljon,
Maryland,
Raljon,
than,
Maryland.
Actual war zone. Personally,
You haven't been to FedEx Field, have you?
I mean, personally,
Yeah,
I would. Rather,
I didn't think so.
I'd rather pick Raljon over getting bombed every day.
Well, it's the same thing mentally.
Okay.
My cool throne is water and hydration. I'm in a battle right now against water Twitter, which I didn't know was a thing. But maybe you guys can help me out because there's a mystery that I've been meaning to ask you guys about in the internet in general for the last several months. I've got a neighbor, seems like a nice guy. It's a guy and a girl. They every 2 weeks they get a delivery of 6 5-gallon water cooler sized jugs. So like ones that you might find in your office when you're talking about not betting the over in the Rams-Chiefs game. Mm-hmm. And they have been getting these delivered every other week, and I've been trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in their house. I had a water salesperson come to my door last night when they were dropping off all the water for my neighbor, and the water salesperson was like, "Hey, just curious, I'm selling water to your neighbor. How much water do you drink?" And I was like, "I don't know." She was like, "Where do you get your water from?" I was like, "The tap. It comes out of the faucet. It's free."
Yeah.
And she was like trying to sell me this water. We ended up not buying any. But I've been trying to figure out what two people could use 30 gallons of water for every 2 weeks. And now the water Twitter is
It's 30 gallons every 2 weeks.
Yeah, 30
So-
gallons. And they're like, that's a normal amount of water to be drinking if you're drinking just over a gallon a day.
Well, why don't we ask? There's only one guy on this show that works out regularly, so Hank.
I've been drinking a lot of water personally. I'm looking it up. I don't know. What's the difference
My
between,
actual
like how do you convert
answer?
how do you convert liters into gallons?
These people have to be just like COVID crazies who don't leave their apartment, who are still in lockdown.
I see them a lot, but why not just use the tap water?
No, that I can't answer because I drink tap water. But yeah,
do they
I
have
don't.
big animals?
Oh, maybe they could have. They could have a. Do they have any animals? They have cats.
I haven't seen, maybe they have fish.
Fish. That could.
And they're
definitely
getting
be
tap
it.
water,
Yep.
or they're getting bottled water for the fish.
That could be.
They
it.
don't trust the tap water for their frogs; they'll turn gay.
They have a whole.
They have the straightest
aquarium.
frogs in
Going
America.
Hardcore Alex Jones today.
They could be filling a fish tank.
They go over and over and over again
Yeah,
with fresh,
I was-
like
I
tap.
don't know.
Maybe
I was
they have a
gonna
lot
say,
of
Jake.
flowers.
Jake drinks the most water. Out
Yeah.
of like anyone I know.
I drink a lot of
So I
water.
don't know how much.
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
You been working out?
No.
No. Oh.
I feel like Big
question
Water
for me.
has poisoned our brains and told us that we need to actually be drinking more than we need to. Like the whole thing of you need to drink a gallon of water a day.
Yeah, water's definitely something you should be drinking.
Yeah, I know that, but I think
Do you?
I think most people can get by drinking like 32 ounces of water a day and getting the rest from their food.
How many is this? 32
This is
ounces?
16.
I
or
drink
20
probably
ounces.
like
No, 32 ounces is definitely not enough.
I probably drink 4 to 6
What are
of
you
those a
talking
day.
about?
But you probably also drink like other drinks over the course of the day. Your coffee has water in it. It's
right,
mostly
but,
water.
but I definitely drink more than 32 ounces. That's 3 cups of water.
Okay, you could probably
4
drink.
cups of
You could
water.
probably drink a half a gallon of water a day. Get the rest of it from your food and your other parts of your diet.
So
and
they
be
just like
fine.
water.
I guess they just really
There's
fucking like
definitely
water.
people who drink a lot of water, who are just water guys.
That seems like overkill to me. But what do I know? I'm not a water.
I have
guy.
water with me on the go everywhere.
yeah.
Literally everywhere.
Drink a beer, water.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That's
Yep.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
They're
they're
just-
alcoholics.
They're constantly mixing in waters.
yeah.
Never hungover.
All right. My hot seats. Wait, what was gonna be my hot? I was gonna figure out how I was gonna fucking do this. Fuck. Oh, my hot seat is Coach Cal, because there was a tweet yesterday that said that Coach Cal was meeting with the AD of Kentucky to figure out his like severance package that went viral, and it turned out obviously it was fake. The person was just making it up. It was a troll account, but it was so believable that Cal got asked about it, and then Coach Cal's wife also released an Instagram video, which was very funny, of her dog just like going to the bathroom in the driveway, being like, he's not going anywhere. But it makes me think, like, if a joke like that can be believed that much, he's truly on the hot seat. This is how it begins.
It is. Maybe it was put out there by. I know that their family is very active on Twitter, and I would never fuck with the Calipari family on Twitter because they're good at it and they'll roast you. But if they had like a burner account, they could put out the terms as like a trial balloon to see how everyone reacted to it.
Yeah.
And then maybe they take the fake account. Was it Ballsack Sports?
No, it was Mark Fisk Hoops, who has like 300 followers. He tweeted non-player movement news per an SEC source. I'm told there's a meeting scheduled later today between John Calipari and Kentucky Athletic Director Mitch Barnhart regarding the head coach's future and expectations moving forward for the program. Interesting. And it got like 150 retweets and a bunch of likes. So people, this is how it begins. Because if you did this tweet about Bill Self, it wouldn't be believed. Well, maybe because of the violations, but what you know what I mean? Like, there's a believability.
Maybe it was like Mark Few.
They did lose to St. Peter's, so he might be on the hot seat.
Yeah, no, that's it. It was the Athletic Premium Plus edition. You only get if you pay the $500 a month for
Yes.
the extra subscription.
Yes. My cool throne is LeBron James, because LeBron has been freed of another coach. So congratulations to him. If you're keeping track at home, which I am, that would mean that LeBron, if we're going to count the interim head coach that he had, I think in 2005, LeBron has gotten 6 coaches fired in his career.
Well, there have been 6 coaches fired while LeBron was there.
Yeah, so the only ones who've survived is Ty Lue, because he left Cleveland. LeBron did, and Spoelstra, who's a very good coach. But yeah, I don't know why we don't talk about LeBron James as a coach killer more, because Frank Vogel got a raw deal. He won a title 2 years ago in the bubble. Everyone applauded him, said that, their defense was incredible, which it was. And then LeBron got all his friends to be on the team and then got injured, and it was like, Frank Vogel, you fix this.
And to be clear, I think that title does count towards Vogel's titles.
Yes.
Because it's tough to keep a team like that together in a bubble environment. It does not count for LeBron. It's a Mickey Mouse title
Right.
when it's for LeBron.
I'm just wondering, when does that conversation ever happen, that LeBron might get guys fired?
You hear who he wants next?
Himself?
Mark Jackson.
Oh my God!
I did hear that.
I want Mark Jackson. I also saw Stephen A. Smith said that he could fix the Lakers, but they can't afford him, which would be unbelievable.
That's actually
If
true.
Stephen A. Smith was the GM and Mark Jackson was the head coach. If LeBron wants, I would
Showtime.
I would maybe be a LeBron fan if he could figure that out. I would be a fan of the Lakers.
I actually think that Stephen A. Smith is right that the Lakers can't afford him.
No,
I
probably not.
don't think that's in their budget.
It's such a flex, though, to just be like, yeah, I would do it, but I could fix that. They can't afford me.
I had a dumb idea before we started taping today. I floated this one out here. Curious to see what you guys think. Would it be possible for LeBron James to hire his son as head coach and thereby ensure that
gets to
LeBron
play
James
with
Jr. gets to play on the Lakers. Like, he becomes a player coach and gives himself minutes.
Why don't we go one further? Why doesn't he hire his daughter for the first female head coach in the NBA history?
That would be touching.
We're breaking barriers. We're doing everything.
That-
Also, the first toddler head coach in NBA history.
Well, also, I mean, she drinks a lot of wine.
She does.
That's an issue.
She does.
He keeps her drunk.
Yes.
I was actually just reading back on that story the other day where he's like, yeah, my daughter doesn't really like the wine. She says it tastes like rocks. And it's like, problem number one is your daughter drinks wine. Problem number two is your daughter knows what rocks taste like.
Rocks are part of her palate. But yeah, LeBron, coach killer. Some are saying I'm not. He's on my cool throne. So any LeBron fans can't say that we're hating on him right now. I'm simply asking. He's freed, which is nice, out of the wrath of Frank Vogel. Everyone knows Frank Vogel, very similar to like a Bobby Knight type, just
Iron
choking
Fist.
people and
Yeah.
throwing chairs. But yeah, Frank Vogel's probably like relieved because that's got to suck to have had that job this year and have basically everyone conspiring against you. And it's like, dude, I won a title 2 years ago.
Well, he also got fired via tweet.
Yeah.
He didn't even make it to his meeting. He
Yeah.
found out online. There was a great quote that LeBron had, though. They asked him about how this year came together. And he said, the reason we were not very good together is we weren't on the damn floor together.
Yeah.
That's the number one damn thing. I actually think that's a new segment alert. The number one damn thing.
The number one damn thing. It is funny because, I mean, they didn't have I think I saw a stat like they were the only team that didn't have 100 minutes of the same starting five, which is kind of crazy. But you could also make the argument like Steph missed a bunch of time. Draymond missed a ton of time. Clay missed a ton of time. Warriors are in the playoffs.
He also had a great spin zone when he was talking about whether or not this season is a failure. And he was just kind of holistic with it. He was like, it's not really a failure because we got to learn together and grow together and spend quality time as men together.
Yes.
So can that really be a failure?
Yeah, that's right. Like, could Hank's text message be a failure if we just brought the fam back together? I just scrolled my timeline and I saw his picture like 16 times. This is actually reminiscent of I don't want to say the name. Norm. When that happened. That was all over my timeline too.
I mean,
fucked up.
Hank, if you want to make this go away, you just post a dick pic.
Yeah.
And everyone's just talking about Hank's hog. No one's talking about your face anymore.
Hank's drinking some water. Count that to the ounces. All right, Jake. Jake, has this been the most uncomfortable part of my take?
It's up there.
I mean, we're having
It's
fun.
all good, yeah.
It's fun.
Not in a bad way.
Contentious.
Can't believe I missed Billy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know. We did.
You miss
Billy
Billy's calming
leaves.
presence next to you on the couch.
Billy is a glue guy because we can all just make fun of him. So he is.
Right.
He's a lightning rod.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jake, go ahead.
My hot seat is Angel Hernandez. So the notable MLB umpire has had an interesting start to the season. He's missing balls and strikes, which
Yep.
is obvious. And he's also caught dancing behind the plate, just in the middle of the
I
at-bat.
saw that.
Like,
What was that?
I think he's just feeling himself.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Listen, Major League Baseball always needs at least one umpire for us to talk about and to be like, oh, it's this guy. Sports
Right.
are more fun when you have like a Joey Crawford, like in basketball, that you can point
Or
at
Joe
and be
West,
like,
yeah.
be like, look at this game. It's the Joe West show. It's the Angel Hernandez show. It's good to have one of those guys. In fact, I think that when we do inevitably make the switch to robot umps, we should keep Angel Hernandez around as like a controlled variable where we can show how much better the robot umps are. And if Angel Hernandez is lucky enough to come to your city on a certain night, the tickets probably go up for that game.
Yeah.
Because people will want to see the umpire.
Yes. No, that's been my take for a very long time, that robot umps will ruin everything because then
Can't blame 'em.
we won't get to have guys like Joe West that we can complain about.
Right. Like if any minor league umpire did this, they'd have no shot of making it to the majors.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
He gets a little bit of an immunity. My cool throne is things being wild. We had a wild incident in the NL West last night. We had two twin brothers pitching against each other, Tyler and Taylor Rogers.
What?
Wild.
Yeah, one of them got the loss, one of them got the save.
What?
Wild.
Wait, so they weren't really pitching against each other?
I mean, opposing teams.
Were they in the
Both
game in the
the
same
loss
time?
and the save. Second time MLB history.
Were they in
that
the game at the
two-
same time?
I mean, that's impossible.
Right. Not wild.
Not wild?
No. I thought they were opposing starting pitchers.
I mean, you look at the box score. It says LT Rogers, save T. Rogers. And they look identical because they are identical. But
They're identical twins.
They're twins.
Yeah.
That is.
All right,
kinda
that's
wild.
back to
That's
wild. That's
yeah.
back
Yeah.
to wild. I didn't realize the identical
Jake,
part.
you can't just bury the identical.
Yeah,
twins.
I
yeah.
said it.
Oh,
I
you
thought.
did? All
Maybe
right.
I didn't.
My
I don't
bad.
know. But it's the second time in MLB history that two twin brothers pitched in the same game and the first time for opposing teams.
Okay, that's wild.
Yeah.
I'm going to say certified, stamp it, wild.
Especially
Bang.
if one was pitching during the same inning, but that never happened, right? They weren't pitching in the same innings as each other.
No, because there are three pitchers that came in after for the
Wait,
Giants.
did you just bang? You can't do that. That's my brain. What's yours?
Copyright,
What
Mike.
is yours?
I
You
don't
have
have
one.
one.
Yeah, I thought you had one. Boom.
Well, I say kaboom, but the heat
I mean,
announcer does that. It's not mine.
Wait, he announcer says kaboom?
Yeah.
So what's yours?
I don't have one.
You need one.
Eventually.
Wait.
It's still early in my career.
Wait,
Blap.
Bang is yours?
No, it's Mike
Mike
Breen's.
Breen's.
Oh, Mike Breen's.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
he
yeah.
said bang, and I was like, what? You can't do that. You need to have one.
Eventually.
Right.
No, you need one.
Okay, it'll
Like
become
right now.
natural. Natural.
I like Kaboom.
But
That's
it's not
the
mine.
Heats.
I'm about to say Kaboom so MF loud.
Mm-hmm.
Right on your forehead.
You need one.
Okay.
Splash.
I feel like that's
Someone's.
common.
Yeah.
What about Get
Buckets. Wet.
We'll see.
You should. Can you do this noise?
Oh, Hank, that was
was
cool.
sick.
Can you do that again? Dude, you're back.
You start doing that in the mic.
That was awesome.
Do that one more time.
4-3.
It's a great
Dude,
sound
that
effect.
fucking rules. How do you do that?
That's why
Damn.
I spent a lot of time in school doing that.
Just
That was
that?
awesome.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out.
Hank, one time we need to have like your former teachers on the show to interview them.
That
Just to
would
see
be-
what
That
you
would
were
be,
like.
and I would be interested to hear that.
It would be great
I
if
mean, you know what they would say. I like.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
spent the
yeah.
entire class in the back of the room with his finger down his throat.
it would
Bonk.
be put it on the list.
You literally just
Put
did
it on
that.
the list. It would be great. It would be he's not putting his finger in his mouth.
I'm flicking my cheek.
Yeah, he's flipping his cheek. It would be great if Jake got like a big NBA gig and was like, well, there's one condition. Hank's coming with me, and whenever there's a big shot, he's gonna have to do the sound effects.
Or you can just pre-record it and they can.
No,
fire
no,
it
no,
on
no,
track.
no.
I'll teach you, Jake.
no.
I'll teach you.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be live.
Yeah.
Has
Okay.
to be live.
Fair.
Okay, good. Let's get to our interview with Craig Robinson. We got FAQs on the other end. Before we do that, PFT.
Yeah, before we get to Craig Robinson, he's brought to you by Simply Safe. You guys know that I love the break-in protection that my Simply Safe home security systems give me. But it's not always outside forces that you need Simply Safe's protection from. This is Joshua's story, a Simply Safe customer from Indiana. A few months ago, he fell asleep with pizza rolls still in the oven. This could have been disastrous. Thousands of dollars in damages to his kitchen and home, or worse. Luckily, Joshua has a comprehensive Simply Safe system equipped with everything to prevent break-ins and smoke detectors to sniff out the fires. He startled awake to the sound of a 95 decibel alarm from his Simply Safe base station. Seconds later, he got a call from Simply Safe Professional Monitoring. The pizza rolls didn't make it, but Joshua did. He believes Simply Safe probably saved his life that night. So, Blake Bortles, Jared Goff, you should probably be investing in a Simply Safe system for all your Totino's Pizza Rolls creations. With a comprehensive Simply Safe system and 24/7 professional monitoring, you always have someone looking out for you. Plans cost under $1 a day. No long-term contracts or hidden fees ever. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/PMT. Go today and you get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/PMT. Now here's Craig Robinson.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is Craig Robinson. You may know him as Darryl from The Office, but we know him as his new show, Killing It, Out on the Cock, April 14th.
Do it for the cock.
It's on the cock, right?
Yes, sir.
It is on Peacock, streaming April 14th. Killing it. Welcome to The Office, man. Also, I should say, one of the smoothest voices in the world.
Well, thank you.
How you doing,
Thanks,
man?
brother. Appreciate you. I'm great. How about yourself?
We're doing great.
Doing
We're
awesome.
doing great. So
Thanks
killing
for
it.
having me. Yeah.
Killing it out on April 14th. We're going to run this tomorrow, so it'll be out the next day.
Okay.
The show is a lot of snakes. I saw that part. What do we say to people? So essentially the show, the premise is a guy's going out. He's down on his luck, and he's participating in a snake, capturing chase for money?
He's a security guard, a bank security guard turned python hunter.
Okay.
So he loses everything. He loses his car, burns up. He loses his apartment. He loses his job, and so he gets in this Uber. He's going after the American dream. He really wants to start this saw palmetto farm to sell these saw palmetto berries, and he hooks up with this Uber driver, and she's crazy. Played by Claudia O'Doherty, amazing actress, comedic, and then hilarity ensues, and then he finds himself having to he agrees to join this snake hunting contest. That's the elevator pitch. You're welcome.
I mean, I like it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you have to interact with real snakes?
Yes, we had real snakes where the American Humane Society was on present every time we had those. We had fake snakes, and we also had the CGI, which blew my mind when I saw the CGI, because I was like, well, I didn't work with that snake. How is it there?
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Is that snake?
Do the snakes have names when you're working with them on set, like the ones that you're handling?
They do. I didn't catch them, because they had the handler.
Yeah.
So he would show us all of that. But yeah, we had a few days of those.
You know who's a real big snake guy is Dwight Howard. He's got like 25 snakes.
Yeah.
Somebody, they just told me he had 500.
Oh, 500.
25.
I don't know. I might be wrong. I know that he named some
One
of
is
them.
a lot. So yeah.
They have to earn their names.
I have a long-standing theory that like if you can't trust anyone who owns a snake as a pet, because that's biblical. Like the snake is.
Bro.
Snake showed up on what, day 7 and fucked everything up?
Now Eve kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, but
Eve
the snake,
fell for the snake's charm.
But I'm saying,
I think
like,
the snake gets a
snakes-
bad rap though sometimes.
Snakes get a bad rap because of the Bible and Indiana Jones. And when I met a snake for the first time, I ended up touching it. I was in Australia with my band. We was at this animal sanctuary. Ended up holding snakes, and I was like, the snake means you no harm. You've been afraid of snakes for all this time, just because you saw a movie or heard biblical stories.
Yeah,
they are scary.
I think the snake from the Bible gets a bad rap. He was just trying to spread knowledge. He was like, imagine like if we hadn't eaten that apple, there would be no TV show. There would
That's
be
true.
no
Killing it.
Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
these
Church,
days.
yes,
Yes.
very, very true.
But I do think that if you own a snake as a pet, it's like, why can't you just own
Agreed.
a cat or a dog?
Yeah,
Those are totally fine.
I recently held a snake on a talk show, and it was I held a couple of them, but there was this one. It's called a corn snake, and it's the #1 snake pet, and it's adorable. And I'm thinking about getting a couple.
No.
Adorable. I'm
Because
telling you.
if you own a snake,
It's like
it's
imagine getting tickled by a hot dog.
okay, that's not a good
I'm thinking about
pitch.
that. Let me
That
close my
wasn't
eyes.
something that was going to sell me. Tickled
Well,
by
no,
a
think
hot
about it, Big
dog.
Cat. Just think about
Hold on.
laying back, closing your
All
eyes.
right, so like a dog's
I just heard myself say it.
yeah, like a dog's unrequited love for you, loyal companion, or tickled by a hot dog. That's a tough one. But if you own a snake, it's like people who own monkeys too. You're just counting down the days until the monkey rips your face off, or the snake gets lost in your house and you can't find it. That's just gonna happen.
True that. Maybe. But true, yes.
I just
Especially
think
with the monkey.
I don't think the same way that like if you have a snake, it's going to attack you. I just think that if you own a snake, that's kind of pre-crime, where a police officer.
Yeah.
If my neighbor owns a snake, I'm just going to call 911 on him.
Right.
I'm going to be like, something's going to happen eventually. I want you guys to be close by.
Pre-crime.
He's a snake guy.
Look, Tom Cruise on that ass.
Yes, yes. Minority Report,
And
right?
Speaking of getting tickled by hot dogs, that's actually a good segue. I want to talk to you real quick about Sausage Fest, the movie that
Sausage Party?
Sausage Party. Excuse me. Yeah, Sausage Party.
Sausage Fest. That's a different thing.
Different thing. Well, it's pretty similar. Like Sausage Party, the supermarket orgy scene in Sausage Party.
Yes.
You were Mr. Grits. You did the voice of Mr. Grits.
Correct.
That's maybe the most disturbing piece of cinema that I've ever seen.
Bro, I haven't heard the outtakes or the extras, but if there are extras and if Mr. Grits is in those extras, we should find them, because the things that we were saying that didn't make the movie, oh my God.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
So they get you in the booth and they're just like, okay, you're participating in a giant orgy with other like snack foods
They
found in the
grease
supermarket.
you up a little bit. No, you go in there, and you just act a damn fool.
Mm-hmm. It sounds fun.
That's the most fun you could have at a job. How often is it getting annoying that people are like, "Hey, Darryl," all the time?
No.
You like it?
I mean, I know it's coming from love, and I do like it because you get like sometimes there's people you never expected, some foreign dude,
right?
Look like he's all to himself. He's like, "Oh, you office,"
Yeah,
so
right.
Like, it's amazing. Yeah, so it's pretty dope. And if I need to disappear, I can do all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird, like, I would imagine there's sometimes like, hey, I've done a lot of other things, but then you also, on the flip side, you're part of one of the most iconic TV shows of all time.
I'm very grateful, man. It's like having friends everywhere you go, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I do have one bone to pick with The Office, with your character on The Office. Maybe you can help me out on this.
Talk to me.
What was it exactly that you're in Jim's company actually did? Because I couldn't figure that out.
Athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you worked in sports.
That's the answer, athlete.
Yeah.
We lead athletes.
And then you hang out with athletes too sometimes.
Hang out with them. You sign them.
Uh-huh.
And you lead them.
Yeah, you lead them. I like that. That actually doesn't sound that different than some agents. Yeah.
I just got the script. Was like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's your favorite episode that you were part of?
Oh man, let me see. Great question. I think when I told Mike he had on lady clothes.
Yes.
When you got to do a scene with Steve Carell, that was just like Christmas, and the fact that I was in so many scenes with him, and that one was it blew my mind. It blows my mind. I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
So to go in there and go toe to toe with Carell was that's a good look.
And I saw that you did comment, not recently, maybe a couple of years ago, that you would be in if they did a reunion. Do you think that's ever talked about?
It's people tell me, but I never hear anybody from the cast. But I'm just waiting to hear Greg Daniels speak on it. If he speaks on it, then it'll be real. Then we could cross that road. But
I mean,
on the surface, I'm in.
Yeah, the bar would be so high, but I think everyone would like jump at. I would be so pumped. If that happened.
You have to get the right, the writers correct, and I'm sure there's a billion stories that if they were to do it again, you have to do like a special or like a movie.
Yeah.
We've had Brian Baumgartner on the show a couple times. He kind of gave us like a little bit of insight as to what the secret life of Kevin might have been behind the scenes, because you've probably seen some of the theories out there. There's just some crazy shit. Super fans of the show.
I have not.
They dive. Well, some people think that Kevin was like a secret genius.
Yeah.
That's he's an expert poker player, but he's also dumb as shit when it comes to doing accounting. Did you have it? Like, what was the internal motivation that you had behind Darryl? Did you come up with like your own backstory, or were you just like, I'm Darryl? The beauty of Darryl was actually like, what Darryl says is what he means all the time.
Right.
Like, no nonsense. But did you have anything like in your head that was your own backstory at all, or were you just like, I'm going to show up and do it?
I probably did at the time. I don't know anymore. But because there's always a backstory. But I don't remember. I don't remember. I feel like I'm letting you down.
No, it's okay. I mean, sometimes those super fan theories are just so far out there.
Is it just Secret Life of Kevin, or do they do other people?
I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna Google Reddit theory Darryl Office, and we'll see what happens.
There'll be something for sure. What how you've worked a lot with Seth Rogen?
Mm-hmm.
Is he as high as he seems?
No.
Really?
No, I mean he likes to get high, but I don't think he's as high as. I don't see him high a lot.
Yeah. What was your favorite project you worked with? I loved Pineapple Express. That was one of my favorite movies.
I love it too. Food still warm. I love it. This is the end was pretty dope to be a part of. We were in New Orleans for like 2.5, 3 months. Just
did that kill you? Because we just came back from New Orleans. We were there for the Final Four, and I said that being in New Orleans for 4 days felt like 40.
Bro, I was there just for shooting Killing It. I was there from mid-October to mid-February.
And I mean,
and I didn't have any alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I was like, I'm not drinking. I would be dead because between the food and the schedule and it would have been a problem.
It's a city unlike any other because it's like they're not only the culture but the food. And then we were joking, like, I got back and I was like taking my son to school and I was like, man, I wish I was just drinking a beer standing in the middle of the street with like a, fresh off a bowl of gumbo.
It's super dangerous down there now too.
Yeah.
Like super dangerous. Like my car got stolen, my rental car, just like.
What happens when a rental car gets stolen?
You know what? I don't know. They didn't tell me if they found it or not.
You just called and you're like, hey, it's gone. Can I get another?
Pretty much. But you had to go get a police report.
Yeah.
Turn that in, and then about 2 weeks later, I got another car.
You just gave me a great business idea.
What?
Just continually rent cars and be like, hey, it got stolen again.
Yeah.
Let me get another one.
Yeah.
Then you drive them all to Mexico and sell them.
Give me another.
I think
over.
that's pretty flawless.
You're welcome.
So the first time I remember watching you was in Knocked Up when you played the doorman, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good use of a cameo because it was short, it was sweet, but I remember watching and being like, that guy's funny. That guy's naturally funny. Was that all scripted out? Was there any improv to it?
There was a lot of improv. Essentially, though, the top half of the monologue was Apatow written, and the bottom half was we had improvised some stuff, and then it gave me a huge shot of confidence because I was throwing stuff out there, and then they'll tell you to get something again for safety, and then Judd was throwing my lines back to me. He's like, "Oh, pregnant bitches," and I just can't handle old pregnant bitches running around the club. So yeah, that was definitely some heavy improv going on.
Yeah, that was great. It showed like a little bit like you were being very funny, but also there was like a little bit of emotion coming from the doorman. Nobody ever thinks about how the doorman thinks.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
nobody does.
I got a dumb question. So you've done a bunch of commercials. Pizza Hut was one of them. Do you just get to eat free pizza when you're there?
I think we got some coupons coming, but no. I want to do a video where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see how this Pizza Hut works out, and then I walk up and they're like, $8.99.
Yeah, right. Doesn't matter that you're in the commercial.
Good for you. $8.99.
So they don't like. I just assume
they take good care of me.
Okay, because I was gonna say I assume you show up to a Pizza Hut commercial and it's just Pizza Hut all day, and I guess you have to work too.
That does happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're doing takes, so you got to eat the pizza. But no, Pizza Hut, I'm fine with it, and I think they are giving us some coupons or something, but. They could go either way. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're taking care of you. I don't want that relationship to sour at all. However, I was dismayed is maybe too light of a word when I ordered the triple treat box, which you were promoting. You know what I'm gonna say?
I heard there was no levels.
It doesn't come in the drawers.
Oh my god!
What the fuck? That's why I ordered it.
That's on you. That's on you, Craig.
Somebody tweeted me like, "What the fuck?" I have no idea. What goes on with that.
Because like watching you in the commercials, you've got the thing, and it's got the drawers.
It's got drawers.
And it's the triple treat, and I'm like, I want that. Craig looks so happy eating out of the drawers, and then it's drawerless by the time it shows up. I was very disappointed.
I don't know what to tell you, and I did bring it to their attention, so.
Okay.
I hope it works out.
That would actually make me very happy if you fixed that problem. Triple treat finally had drawers.
I told him I had an idea for doing a commercial where, like you see a brick go through a Domino's, and I'm like, no one out Pizza the Hut, and then I drive off.
I like that.
Yeah. You kidnap Papa John.
Yeah.
Oh, the kidnapping. Oh, that's a whole other level.
Yeah.
Papa John would probably be down.
Just beat the shit out of Papa John.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of people like, yep, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. So you mentioned your band. Are you still like touring with the band?
Yeah, we got a show May 4th at the Troubadour in LA, part of this Netflix comedy festival thing. But absolutely, man, we get out there when we can. It's actually been a while between gigs. I've been busy, they're busy, but my band is beyond fantastic. Everyone has their own band in the band. We're like a super group that comes together, like Voltron or something.
So do you, like, if you had to pick, not saying you have to pick, but like acting or music, which one is like your true passion?
I would go with the band.
Yeah.
I had to, all the way.
I feel like most musicians are people who have musical ability who do other things. Like PFT is a great guitar player, and I bet you if was like, hey, you could trade all this to be like in an all like top 10 band.
Forget about it.
I'd trade it all.
trade
I'd trade it all just if
and
I
I
could
understand.
learn the
I'd be
Freebird
like,
solo.
go for it, dude. That would be sick.
Yeah, the song, the Dunder Mifflin, the persons, paper, people.
Yeah.
That is a jam. That's
Yeah,
like,
it is.
have you thought about taking?
Paper.
Yeah, can you sing it just real
I'm
quick?
stuck. There's friendly faces around the block. Break loose from them chains that are causing you pain. Call Michael and Stanley, Jim DeWine and Creed. Call Andy and Kelly for your business paper needs. Call the Mifflin people, persons, paper, people.
Yeah, I think that. Have you ever like considered just changing the words to it not being about a fictional paper company and just making it into a hit?
I have not.
I think it's good enough.
Wow.
It's
I do
so
too.
smooth. Yeah.
I'd agree
Why
with
not
that.
just keep it like it is then?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
This is me trying to like organize a whole like people want The Office to reunite because they want to go back in time to feel the way that they felt about it at the same time they first watched it. That's what I'm doing with that song right now. I want to go back and listen to it again for the first time.
Do you have your axe here?
I do have a guitar down here. Yeah.
Oh, is it acoustic or
Acoustic.
Go bust it out, man. Let's
you
do a
want a
little
jam?
something.
There you go.
Shoot. Why not?
What do you want to sing?
Purple Rain.
Oh, you went
shit.
right to like expert mode there. What do you want to do? Oh, one of the best songs from the best artist of all time. Real quick.
Why not? Why
Gotta
not?
put it on him there.
Who would you say are your favorite artists of all time?
Wow, man. That's deep.
Good deep
Michael
question.
Jackson, man.
Yeah?
Michael Jackson. Prince. James Brown. Marvin Gaye.
I mean,
Sam Kinison.
That's a pretty good fucking list.
What
are you searching how to play it?
No, what key do you want to play it in?
Let's go B flat.
B flat.
Original.
Okay.
Have you ever played Purple Rain?
I have a long time ago.
Do you need the lyrics?
Mm-mm. Never cause you in a sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. Hey, I only wanted one time to see you laughing. I only wanna see you laughing in the purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only want to see you, baby, in the purple rain.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
I mean, that was off the top. That's fucking sick.
That was, thanks, bro. Thanks. Nice skills there. I heard a little funk
I
pattern.
mean, you picked it in B flat, which is tough to do, and make it sound nice and open.
Right.
You know, couldn't play any
Yeah,
open chords on there.
It was
but
a
that's
little
fine.
high for me, too. I was like, so, yeah.
I mean, that was fucking awesome. You do have a smooth voice.
You have a gift.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Get it from my mama.
So I don't know where to go from that because we never had someone just drop a perfect rendition of Purple Rain on our face.
What do you like doing better? What do you like doing better? Live action shit or
There we go.
animated stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, they're both like, it's like choosing between your kids. But the animated, man, you get to do a lot of, you get to go big and go crazy. I got this movie coming out April 22nd called The Bad Guys. And it's like Tarantino for kids, man. It's pretty dope.
Wow, Tarantino for kids is
Yeah, and I got a stupid character named Mr. Shark. And he's the master of disguise, so it's like, it was stupid. It was so much fun to make.
Yeah.
But then the live action, that's a whole nother beast. It's just two different beasts.
So serious question for back to The Office real quick. Like in terms of your career and what it did for like the trajectory of your career, because reading a little about you, you weren't like someone who was day one, like 16 years old doing stand-up comedy.
Right.
So what did it do for, like, was that the moment where you're like, okay, this is actually now a career now? I was part of a hit. I was a very likable character on a huge TV show. Like, did that catapult
Office,
you?
Yes, absolutely. The Office is I would consider that my big break. I was on a show before that called Lucky that you probably haven't heard of, but it was John Corbett and Billy Gardell, myself, and John Corbett was a gambler, and his name
Actually, I do remember that.
it was on FX, and I'm talking about critics' darling. I had like 30 clips of newspaper things or whatever. It was like lucky, and everybody loved it. And then I forget how it happened. Some kind of politics happened, and we got canceled after one season. But that was a huge, beautiful lesson because I didn't save a dime from it. I was just ready for the second season, and then I got Billy Gardell called me. Hey man, no, I think Mark called me first. My manager right here. He said, "Hey man, they canceled the show," and then the two guys, Rob and Mark Cullen, who are the brothers who wrote the show. Hey man, they're letting us go. And by the time Billy Gardell called, I was like, I got it. But I was holding on to my chair. I could not believe it. But I was at a party so it was The Shield, and then Lucky came on, and then there was this show Nip Tuck.
Yep.
So we went to the premiere of Nip Tuck. President of FX looks at me in the eyes and go, "You got nothing to worry about." So I'm like, it's on. Now that's when I felt like I made it.
Yeah.
That's when I felt. So then once that happened, ever since then I haven't had that feeling. I always feel like the bottom could come out at any time.
That's actually a blessing in disguise.
A super blessing because now I don't spend money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
A
smart.
little bit.
Yeah.
Is there a show that you've worked on where you thought it was going really, really well, and then you watch the final version, you're like, this didn't turn out the way that it felt in the moment?
No, but that would be my act, my comedy act, or like a certain joke sometimes. No, the shows, it's hard, man, because you get on a show. And it's so much, good morale. Everybody's like, this is good. It's always positive, and then you get out there, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. So it's hard to tell. I just go in, do the best work I can, and keep it moving, man.
Do you always watch the stuff that you do, or is it just it's done?
I have
never
not
watched it again?
always. I try to, but there are some things that I have not seen. I have not seen the full movie Walk Hard yet.
Oh, really?
Would you believe that?
That's a great one.
That is a great one.
Good.
There you go. You don't have to see it.
I will be checking it out.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so I have one last question. It's a Roback question. Go to roback.com. We actually have Roback gear if you guys want any.
Roback?
Yeah, RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase on roback.com. All right, so the new show, Killing It, out on Thursday on Peacock. What would you say, like, so this is first season. Are we getting a second season?
Your mouth to God's ears. We got to see, I guess, how it, debuts and people stick with it.
We need people to watch it.
We need people to watch it all the way through. Whether you love it or hate it. If you love it, wonderful. If you hate it, watch it anyway. Just let it play.
Just cue it up and let it play. What about
leave and go somewhere?
Yeah, you got a pet snake at home, pet dogs at home. Just turn it on and leave.
What about if people have snake phobia? Should they watch it? Maybe those are the people that turn it on and walk away.
I know. I get it. Like some people can't watch because of that. It's not so many snakes all the way through and all of that, but that is the center of it, but it's not. It's hard to explain.
Have people actually reached out to you, been like, dude, I support you, but like I can't watch this?
Somebody tweeted that they like, I love Craig Robinson, but I can't look at the snakes.
So that's a perfect case of just turn it on and walk away.
Turn it on and walk away.
Yeah, just keep it running, and tweet that you watched it.
And tweet that you watched it. It's people are gonna do what they want to do. They want you to do the elevator pitch. They want you to come out and say, why should you see this? I don't know. We had fun making it. It was very challenging. I loved every minute, and and it's got some great moments, and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Yeah, I need a new TV show, so I'm in.
Awesome. It was a pleasure jamming with you.
Likewise, brother. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all
Craig,
very much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by.
Craig Robinson was brought to you by Cross Country Mortgage. If you're still throwing away money on rent every month, you're just sitting on the bench. Cross Country Mortgage puts you in the game, and you'll be a part of a championship team. Cross Country Mortgage has a team of loan officers dedicated to getting you the best possible loan terms available. They have an average close time of 21 days, which is ridiculously fast. They've got a wide variety of loan types, which means they've got everything to cover everyone. And we have some exciting news. They're giving away free Barstool and Cross Country Mortgage sweatshirts when you sign up to refi or get pre-approval while supplies last. So what are you waiting for? Get off the bench, start warming up. Cross Country Mortgage is the team dedicated to getting you and your dream home. You can start winning today. Go to ccm.com/Barstool. Cross Country Mortgage can take care of you through the buying process. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
All right, let's finish up FAQs. Hank?
Yeah.
Give it to me one more time. I love it so much.
You want to know the other one I would do? I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this.
Yes, please.
But this would get people going.
The many talents.
Like, oh, my back hurts. And I go.
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen you do that before.
It gets
And you're
people every
cracking
time.
your fingers, right?
Crack your neck.
Oh, man.
Like a
Oh!
fun stuff.
I feel like the bubble one would be appropriate for a free throw.
All right, Jake.
A single
Maybe
drop.
a big
Learn how to
three,
do it
though.
first, and then
Yeah.
we
No,
talk.
I think that's a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
fine.
Splash.
Yeah.
It's a wet sound effect,
Okay, I'm wrong.
implying that the jumper is wet.
Mm-hmm. You got that?
Yeah, you're
That's basketball.
Nice. Hank's
You don't-
lashing at
Hank
Jake
knows
now, too.
ball. Hank knows ball.
What's up, Coach K, Killer, Mr. Commenter, Honk, Billy Pigskin, and Jake? How often are you guys recognized out in public? Is it just at sporting events, or do you get recognized in normal places as well?
Sporting events are normal. Like, I'm thinking through my head of when I go out in public the most. It's like sporting events or sports related is probably number one.
It's two things. One is when we're going somewhere that everyone knows we're at, it's obviously way different. Like when we're in the New Orleans for the Final Four, it's like nonstop, but that's also sports and people know we're there. In terms of like regular just walking around, I don't know. I probably I walk like 6 blocks from the train to the office, maybe once. Mm-hmm. Like that's the average is like one time a day when I'm walking that walk.
My favorites are when I ran into a guy yesterday, actually, that I was out on the trail, and the guy holds up his phone as I'm walking past him, and he's like, I'm listening to you right now.
Yeah.
I always like that when
Oh, yeah.
when he's actually got part of my take playing while they see me. That's always good. One time, actually, I was at a restaurant, and this girl came up, and she was like, hey, are you Post Malone? That really set me back a few.
It is nice to get recognized because our fans are the best. So the only time it ever, I mean, we've said this before, the only time it ever sucks is when someone tries to take a picture without saying hello. Then you feel a little bit like a zoo animal. But that very rarely happens. Usually it's just a what's up, and then it's fun. Or sometimes people will ask me like a construction site by my house. The dudes will ask me for a pic, and I think I'm like 0 for 7 on picks I've given them, so I stopped walking that way.
I mean, memes is just continuing to troll me. He picked these.
Oh no!
FAQ: will Hank return to full participation in upcoming Mount Rushmore season, or is he still butthurt about the pizza toppings? Hashtag double olives.
Oh,
I forgot about
Yeah, I
those
mean, I'll be
toppings.
back. You guys ruined the sanctity of the competition forever.
It was awesome.
So
That was a
coming
great
up.
again,
one.
I feel bad for
Earlier
the
this
listeners,
year.
but
Yeah, it's after
Back
it's
on
in
track.
July. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a motion for this year's Mount Rushmores. I think that we should
Already?
do them.
Yeah. What?
No, I'm.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
Is there a
Well,
pro-
every year you have a motion that's we shouldn't vote,
No,
but go ahead.
I know we can vote. I'm just saying we do it the Chicago style, where you take the names off,
Okay.
and then it's a big reveal
I
afterwards.
mean,
That works.
I don't really worry about the voting.
well, some people
yeah, I mean,
here
once you
do.
guys cheated, it's like the whole system is broken. You guys broke.
But don't
the
even
system.
worry about the voting. Who cares about the voting?
I know. I literally don't care about the voting.
But every year you come up with a rule that tries to change the voting.
Hank cares very much.
I'm done.
See,
You guys broke my will to care.
That's actually put that on our resume.
Are you ever?
That's
Game
fucking
7,
huge.
June 19th. So that would be the
All right,
latest.
June
one
19th.
start.
That's
Yep.
huge,
Yep.
bro. Like, killed Coach K, broke Hank's will to care.
Are you ever
Also
gonna?
made him a suit. Which, congrats on the promotion, president of Barstool Sports.
Thanks. You fired.
What's Dave like as an employee?
You're fired.
Are you ever gonna have Tim Woods back on for more
Yes.
D&D?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I see that. It's we're just now getting to like a little bit of a slower time. The footballs from September to the end of March Madness is chaos. Now we will get to do. We have a couple we have some weird interview we're doing next week that should be great. So yeah, we're gonna start doing some different interesting things for sure.
I always loved him. It's not just the actual act of playing Dungeons and Dragons. Just his personality in a room is kind of like it's rejuvenating.
Yes,
Makes me feel like there are good people in this world.
effervescent.
Effervescent, positive.
Yes.
Can you just read the Ray Allen tweet again?
Yes, no problem. I know most of it. I'm getting there. Picture me. Hold on, let me find.
Yeah, you
it.
don't want to ruin it.
I don't want to ruin. That would be trying to quote Shakespeare.
All right, I'm gonna introduce you.
Twitter
And now, Big Cat reading
tweets.
the Ray Allen tweet where he talks about the clitoris.
I'm getting there. Wait. I'm actually getting there. All right, I'm getting there. When you masturbate, think about my tongue or your clit and switching back and forth from my dick to my tongue. I want to have him on just to ask him. Like it would be so awkward because we think about this tweet far more than he's ever thought about.
No,
this tweet.
I actually don't. I think if you fire off
He-
a tweet
he
like
did
that,
what I did.
you think about it all the time.
Every now and then.
You just can never. It might be cathartic for him because
He could
he's
actually
probably
probably help
never
me.
spoken about it.
He could help me with what I'm dealing with.
Let's see if is he on Twitter still? He might not even be on Twitter.
That would be legendary if he just deactivated.
I'm looking Ray Allen right now for people, and there's no verified Ray Allens. So he might have just been like, "I'm out. I can't."
No, it's like I think it's like Sugar Ray 20 or something.
Sugar Ray 20. I would love to have Ray Allen on, and it would basically be all questions about that. I can't find him.
Hi, Fit Cat, Fit Hank. Oh no, this is funny. Hi, Fat Cat,
Dude, he deleted his Twitter account.
Fit Hank, and Perv FT. Get it? When the heck are you guys gonna
get
do
it.
I
another
don't get it.
24-hour stream?
Never.
We should do one.
No, never.
Well, so this year we're combining training camp and Grit Week, so it's going to be in August. Maybe we do one in May. Maybe we do a 24-hour stream in May.
Why? This is.
I had
Corporate
fun.
Hank's got to know that.
I had fun. I think
I-
we should do it.
I can do it. I'm just not drinking a beer an hour.
Yeah, no,
every
you don't
time.
have to do that. I'm not drinking. I'm not eating a hot dog an hour.
That set me
Pussy.
back.
Billy
about, like,
will
2
be running
weeks.
a marathon again. He'll be running 2 marathons.
One of the most impressive things he's ever
It
done.
really
Yes.
was. But yeah, we're not going to guarantee anything. We're not going to commit to anything, but we'll talk about it because that was fun. It was just guys hanging out.
Remember when you guessed that card?
Yeah,
That
Buster
was
Posey.
insane.
That was the highlight of my life.
I mean, some of these questions, I don't know. This is.
Memes is
What's the
fucking-
most difficult lesson you've learned while building Barstool/PMT?
The most difficult.
lame memes? Nice try, memes.
That was A-Rod asking
Trying
that.
too hard.
yeah.
Sometimes we learn that if we try too hard, you burn out.
We gotta think of the macro versus the micro sometimes when you're developing a show like this. No, I don't know. Just consistency.
Consistency.
Just be consistently fucking stupid.
I would say.
Oh, the hardest lesson.
I guess one of the hardest lessons is you just got to like eventually get to a point where you realize that there's just going to be people who don't like you. That's
Yeah.
hard to deal with when you start, especially like early Barstool when it was very small and it was like it felt like everyone was in on like the joke. And then it's like you get bigger and bigger. And it's like, all right, some people are not going to like you from the outside. Some people aren't going to like you from the inside. Some people listen to this podcast and probably hate us and they just hate listen. And then they, comment all day about how much we suck. But it's just like getting over that and being like, your opinion doesn't matter because it just doesn't anymore.
It is weird to get to that point because it's human nature
Correct.
to read what people say about
Right.
you. And then when there's enough people that say negative things, and if you're a show that has a lot of listeners, it's just natural that there will be a significant amount of people that might not like what you say or disagree with you or don't like you personally or whatever. And it's very it goes against everything in your body to be able to not listen to what they have to say.
Correct.
It took me probably like about 2 years to get to the point where now I literally don't care. If somebody has constructive criticism, that's completely different and that's valid. But you have to like be able to differentiate between the two. And sometimes I wonder, are the people that comment on Twitter different from the people that comment on Instagram and the people that comment on Reddit?
Only weird. Like Twitter is the worst.
Well,
Twitter's useless.
I disagree. Twitter's the best.
Yeah, I think Twitter's not bad. I think Reddit is like you can't find a podcast show, anything that doesn't devolve into we just don't like this anymore, like critiquing it, because that's
platform.
That's the nature. Like, and I don't even hold it against anyone. It's like if you comment on something and consume it for long enough, you're just going to poke holes in it. It is what it is. I think most of the people commenting probably still like it. Instagram is a lot of just people being like bots and stuff.
Yeah, there's always like the first 4 comments are like, "Come look at my ass."
Right. And Twitter is the one that still feels real, and that's the one I will take the most. Like if someone has a real, like, hey, this you should do this, or it'd be cool if you did this. I usually read that, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually valid feedback.
Yeah.
It's just I don't blame anyone who's commenting negative stuff, because it's like if you're sitting and consuming something and then commenting all the time, no one wants to read everyone be like, these guys are the best over and over. Yeah. That's just the nature of the internet. You can't, like, no one's going to be like, oh, let's read an entire thread about how much these guys rock and how funny they are. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Would you listen to this show if we were talking about like the NBA, for example, and we thought every player was good?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Every player is pretty good in the NBA.
Yeah, pretty damn good.
For the most part.
Except LeBron, coach killer.
Yeah, and Embiid.
Hank, what corporate Hank? You've gone from literally an intern to the C-suite at this.
Not true. I would say
he's actually
to your point,
emperor of Barstool Sports. I keep promoting him throughout this show.
Thankfully, I got publicly roasted in my entire life, like broken down when I was like, 20, 21 years old, and I had to get over like the people are just like I got shit on over and over and over again, and I had the like if you care, like you're not going to be able to work here. So I thankfully have been over that for a long time, and I feel like it just doesn't, even nights like last night, like I've had so many of them, it just doesn't. It's embarrassing, but like I don't lose sleep over it.
It goes back to the first question that we did with FAQs about getting recognized in public. People are mean online. They just are, because they can be faceless and they don't have to like stand behind anything. They can just be mean. I've never had a single bad interaction in person. No one has ever come up to me and been like, you fucking suck. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. So that's how you kind of just gauge your life off.
It's a sliding scale, and it's like if that's one bad thing, but there's a million good things.
Yeah. Right.
Like, who cares?
There was one guy at LSU.
It's never going to be all
I was
good.
walking around before the LSU Alabama game, and he just goes, "Hey, PFD." I looked over and he goes, "You suck." But I was too drunk to care. And I was like, okay, respect.
I like if I was getting booed going to restaurants, I think I'd probably be like, oh, something bad's happening. But that hasn't happened yet. You just show up and everyone just starts heckling you.
That was actually a good question, Memes.
That was a good question, Memes. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you good?
Are you sure that's it?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Can we get one more wet sound? All right, numbers.
6. 25. By the way, a hippo can eat 150 pounds of grass in a single night.
Oh, wow.
About 150 pounds.
Okay, thank
Holy
you for
fuck.
the clarification.
That's a lot. 22.
90.
90. Like it.
Going
Strong
high.
number.
Watch it be 69.
Oh, I'd love every second of that. 30.
Love you guys.